Errol Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford, fight week is over. I am convinced that Errol Spence Jr. knows something that we don't. I explore that in this video. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Please come in, be so kind, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified of the latest and greatest when it drops. Now, getting right into this video. Errol Spence Jr., overall demeanor, interviews, how he showed up for grand arrivals, press conferences. He's almost too cool, too calm, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Errol Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford are slated to fight tomorrow night. January 29. Now, I did a video just a little bit ago. It's already up on the channel where I walked through the entirety of fight week, the weigh-in, my observations through that. In this video, I want to focus more on Errol Spence Jr. Cool, calm, collected, very certain what he is saying. We're here for a crawfish boil. I'm going to break down Bud Crawford. I know he's a good fighter, but I'm going to break him down. Now, people will make up stories and detract and lie and say that, you know, Errol may have ducked, but this is a fight that he's wanted since he wrapped up the fight with Yordenis Ugas. He made that announcement in the ring. Negotiations take place, as we know. Bud Crawford breaks away. He fights David Avanesian. Errol Spence Jr. essentially stalled out his own career to ensure he got this fight. He went on the shelf. He disrespected Keith Thurman, and probably rightfully so. And he waited to get an opportunity to become undisputed. He's been extraordinarily congruent with his words and actions, a man of his word, and very consistent with how he feels about how this fight will go. Errol Spence Jr. is fairly convinced he can break down Bud Crawford while acknowledging that Bud Crawford is a great fighter and a great champion. Errol Spence Jr. is delivering this message in a manner that's bordering on disturbing. He is very calm, he is very cool, and operating with a level of certainty that if this is what you're rooting for, you feel a lot more comfortable knowing he appears to feel the way that you would want a top athlete to feel in these moments. In my previous video, I stated that I think Bud Crawford had certain hurdles leading up to the completion of fight week and the weigh-in. Go check that video out. Errol Spence Jr. has conversation about the outcome of this bout as if he knows it's already done and completed. And I'm not really mad at that perspective, but seeing one is believing. Two, we know a lot of people who front and fake. Errol Spence Jr. is not fronting and faking. If he elevates a little bit, it's still consistent, calm, clean delivery. If it's just classic Errol, then he's laid back, talk a little shit here and there, tell a joke or two. He's embraced the opportunity to have an opportunity to fight for undisputed at 147 pounds, understanding the magnitude of that moment. It'll be the first time in the four-belt era where you have an undisputed welterweight champion of the world. So he sees and recognizes the magnitude of the moment, but draws on his experience against guys like Mikey Garcia at Jerry World, 48, 49K. Yordenis Ugas, unification. Sean Porter, unification bout. And because he's housed over with PBC and the Showtime partnership, Al Heyman, Steven Espinosa, you know that he's gotten big-time exposure. Coin flips, college football games, meet and greets, face-offs at the Star. These things are a part of Errol Spence's resume and why he's rose to ascension. He's been marketed very well, and he's done his part by damaging the opposition almost beyond repair. Those things are going to play, or have now played, into how he's handled himself in this lead-up. Despite the magnitude of the event, he's more calm than I've seen. I think the last time I saw where he was like dumbass confident like this is if you go back and watch the final face-off between Errol Spence Jr. and Mikey Garcia. They're facing off, and Errol's just smiling at this dude. And they talking a little shit. He turns around, he goes over he gestures to the crowd, and he does a throat slash. And if you can read his lips, he goes, "I'm going to fuck him up." And he pretty much ended Mikey Garcia. That's the height of confidence that I see with the addition of calm and Errol Spence Jr. Obviously, he knows something that we don't because we were not in his training camp, clearly. But him going on the way that he's going on, and that slight edge that the Bud team has, not edge in competitiveness and professionalism, they seem a little close to the edge. Errol's calm, Bud Crawford's agitation, for lack of a better, I think that's an appropriate word, agitation, are interesting components leading up to this fight. I've already broken the fight down. I picked Errol to break Bud down. Bud takes a knee. The fight gets waved off. That's my prediction. It's in 3 videos now. I've talked about technique, X's and O's. We've done that as well. So now we have to have these kind of weird-ass conversations about demeanors and fight weeks and such. But I think it's interesting because if you really take the time to look at this fight, I feel confident in my breakdown. You know, I started covering this fight as soon as he beat Yordenis Ugas. But there's still interesting conversations to have because you can't discount or discredit Bud Crawford and recognize and acknowledge him as a true threat. That if you do that, that's foolish. Even if you think Errol can just destroy him, then he'll be destroying an absolute monster in Bud Crawford. So you got to pay respect where respect is due. Now we get to the point where we're like splitting hairs about what this means and that means and why Bud Crawford got the homeless fro and beard and, you know, right on the weigh-ins. We get into those weird-ass conversations. Let me know what you guys think. Errol's demeanor overall seems borderline scary. This is your boy JG. This is Punch Report. We out.